Hi Warriors, happy Friday. It's another week that we've made it through. This is the first week of the next quarter, second quarter, so hopefully you're off to a good start. If you look behind me on that table, we got $1,000 worth of books in. I'm super excited. We had run a grant this past summer where I was able to buy us a ton of books, flood our class with new books, and I'm super excited to share a couple of those with you today. Because we got a ton of new books, like over 80 books, I didn't just go with 3 today. I brought 5 to kind of talk to you about. So make sure you have your list out. So if you like any of these titles, you could always write them down and maybe check them out. So the first one is called Becoming Muhammad Ali. And first of all, I love both of these authors. James Patterson, he actually writes a lot of like adult books about like fiction or like mysteries and stuff. And then Kwame Alexander wrote like the crossover, booked, all kinds of different like books in verse. A lot of times my kids love him as an author. And something I want to show you about it is this book is written in verse. So for those of you who hate reading, this might be something for you to try, like a puppy versus a pit bull, because most of it is in verse. And so it's something that's going to be a little easier. And if you don't know who Muhammad Ali was, first of all, you need to go look him up. He was a famous boxer. So I'll read it to you, the inside cover. It says, before he became the legend, Muhammad Ali, young Cassius Clay learned history and card tricks from his grandfather, hid report cards from his parents, and biked around Louisville with his pals. But when his bike is stolen, Cassius decides there's something else he wants, to be able to fend off bullies by becoming a boxer. Cassius also has a best friend, Lucky, who sticks by him whether his fists are raised in victory or his back is against the ropes. Before long, Lucky's cheering Cassius on in his first amateur fights. With the support of all of his friends and family, will he make it to the top? Heavy hitters James Patterson and Kwame Alexander joined forces to vividly depict Ali's childhood in unforgettable prose and verse. And so I think you would really like this, especially if you're something, just because it looks like a boy book doesn't mean it's a boy book, but definitely something I'm going to be reading this year. For those of you who enjoyed Wonder, this is called Whitebird, and first of all, it's a graphic novel, which who doesn't love a good graphic novel? And it says on the back, to the millions of readers who fell in love with Wonder, Julian is best known as Augie Pullman's classroom bully. Whitebird reveals a new side to Julian's story as he discovers the moving and powerful tale of his grandma, who was hidden from the Nazis as a young Jewish girl in occupied France during the Second World War. So if you like reading about the Holocaust, this is good for you. As Grandmere tells Julian, it always takes courage to be kind, but in those days, such kindness could cost you everything. So definitely check it out. This would be a great quick read for those of you who are not big on reading. Graphic novel, which always helps if you feel like you struggle with reading. It would be something cool for you. So definitely check out Whitebird. Then this is a book I've read. It's called Hey Kiddo. It's another graphic novel. I got a ton of them in. And I like this book. It is a mature book, so if you're not allowed to read about like drinking or drugs or things like that, you shouldn't read this book. And it's a true story about how complicated the truth can be in like your life. And so this guy, his name's Jared Krasowska, he wrote this, and it's all about how he lost his mom, found his dad, and dealt with addiction. His family's addiction. So it says in preschool, his teacher asked him to draw his family with a mommy and a daddy. But his family was much, much more complicated than that. His mom was an addict, in and out of rehab, and in and out of his life. His father was a mystery. He didn't know where to find him or what his name was. He was living with his grandparents, two very brash, very loving, very opinionated people who thought they were through with raising children until he came along. So now he's a teenager. He's gone through his childhood trying to make his non-normal life as normal as possible, finding a way to express himself through art, despite the fact he's grown up in a house where many things have remained unsaid. It's only when he's old enough to have a driver's license that he can begin to piece together the truth of his family, reckoning with his mom, tracking down his dad, and finding his own identity. So I read this in like one sitting. It's like something that you're not going to want to put down. It's a quick read. Graphic novels are always a win, but I would definitely check out Hey Kiddo. For those of you who loved Black Panther, bam! This is all the story of Shuri, which is his sister. Nick Stone wrote this, and I love Nick Stone. She wrote Dear Martin, Dear Justice. She wrote Jackpot. She's written all kinds of some of my favorite books. And so it says, the heart-shaped herb, source of the Black Panther's incredible powers for generation after generation, is dying. Without it, the legacy of the Black Panther and the safety and prosperity of Wakanda are in jeopardy. While tribe leaders argue, frozen in disagreement, the youngest member of the royal family takes matter into her own hands. Shuri, warrior, inventor, and younger sister of T'Challa, the Black Panther, has disobeyed the commands of her elders and left her homeland to root out the source of this ecological crisis. But the truth she uncovers could pose a greater threat than she or any of her countrymen could have imagined. And I just love it because it's, first of all, the ink is purple, which that's not, who doesn't think that's cool? I love that she has like a map of Wakanda in here, like for all my Marvel fellow geeks that want to geek out with me. Like it's not all necessarily like book. There's like a mission log from when she's going on these missions. It's not super long, like it's barely over 200 pages, which is actually pretty short for a YA novel. It says, if you told Shuri a fight would be waiting for her the first time she left Wakanda, she'd roll her dark eyes and wave you off like a conspiracy theory. Not that she'd ever admit it out loud, but she's not even sure she can fight. Thanks to Mother, she hasn't truly trained in years. She was still a single digit in age the last time she made a fist. Because fight she will. For herself, her life, her future. For her people, for their future. For Wakanda. So definitely check out Shuri. Hopefully I'm saying it right. If I'm not, sorry. I haven't watched the movie in a while, but definitely love that. And then this was in our book Speed Dating. I've had a couple people ask me about it. It's called Time Bomb. I got some new copies in. So it says 6 students, 1 school, and time is running out. Diana, Frankie, Tad, Kaz, Z, and Rashid couldn't be more different. But before the morning's over, all 6 have one thing in common. They're trapped in a school that's been rocked by a bombing. When they hear on the radio the bomb are still inside, they have to decide whether they're going to turn on one another or work together to get out alive. So it's told from multiple perspectives. It's an emotional thriller. It'll make you, your heart pound because it's suspenseful. If you like the Testing trilogy, it is going to be something you would like as well. Kind of short. Time Bomb, definitely check it out if you like that kind of thriller stuff. If you like reading books about like school shootings or things like that, that might be something that would be interesting for you. So 5 new titles. I just added 80 new titles to our class library, so feel free to peruse through that. As always, keep reading and happy reading, warriors.